Here I am signing with Ford again for another Manufacturers Cup. After 6 months away from Gran Turismo 7, still driving with the joypad, dinosaur mode, in Suzuka, which is an extremely technical track, and only 2 minutes of training before the race. Terrible lap time, so I decided not to even qualify, foreseeing a terrible season start. Follow me and let's see what happened. Weapons free! Salute and welcome to the Fighter Driver channel. I'm Gabriel Oliveira, the Fighter Driver, and after the terrible last Manufacturers Cup in August last year, it was so bad that I had such little time to edit the videos that I didn't even bring them to you, but now you can see the highlights on screen. And I'm coming back to Gran Turismo 7 for another Manufacturers Cup, maybe for the last time, at least for a while, and I'll talk about it during this video. So today you'll watch the 2 first races, Suzuka and then Daytona. I didn't even qualify for this race. I knew I wouldn't be able to get myself in a good position on the grid for the start, as Suzuka is an extremely difficult track for me, the way I drive with the joypad. I've talked about that in previous Gran Turismo 7 videos, how it's been hard for me to be competitive by driving with the joypad the way I drive. I won't use it as an excuse. I know many people who are very skilled and drive very well, who are competitive with the joypad, but for me specifically, it's a limitation. I've reached a point in which I just can't improve my driving technique by using it. I know the things I do wrong and what I must do to improve my driving, but with the joypad I just can't do it. I found my limitation with it. So that together with some things I really don't like in Gran Turismo 7, I have a polemic video about it from November 2023 talking about those problems, and they are the same now. So if you haven't watched it yet, the card is here on screen, or you can use the link in the description. Well, those things are demotivating me a little bit, I must say. So I'm seriously thinking about taking some time and focusing on the air combat simulations for now, at least until I can invest in a racing wheel. Then I won't have more excuses, and if I'm not able to improve then, so it's because the limitation is 100% mine and not even proper equipment can help me improve, right? One of the things is that it's very easy to make mistakes when driving with the joypad. As to be any competitive at this point, I have to be on the overdrive all the time, so any mistakes is very bad. I tell you, you'll see it on the second race at Daytona, how a stupid mistake cost me the victory and actually turned my race from potentially excellent to a disaster. And it makes me fearful, especially when fighting for positions, as my mistakes can not only ruin my race, but the other players' races as well. And this is a problem to me, as something that's a rule for me is always driving clean and respecting my adversaries. So when my mistakes jeopardize other drivers' races, I feel terrible, and it's something I don't tolerate at all. So how could I keep driving competitively knowing that I can cause trouble to people every time I get on track because I'm always on the overdrive? But I'd like to know from you, what do you think I should do? Finish the 2 remaining races and take a break for a while, at least until I can get a racing wheel? Just keep going no matter what? Or maybe you have any hints that could help me improve and get beyond this terrible moment I'm facing in sim racing, even driving with the joypad? Your comments will be much appreciated. I also want to thank everyone who's been following our journey so far and supporting the channel. Without your support, the channel would have no reason to exist and keep going. It's sharing experiences with you that makes this channel worth keeping. So be sure to smash the like button, to share this video with everyone you know who likes Gran Turismo 7, racing games and simulation, and to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet so you don't miss the next episodes coming. You are 138 subs now, thank you all so much. You can also help us reach the new meta of 500 subscribers, so the bigger the channel grows, the closer we get to make it possible for us to invest more in better equipment and improve the content quality for you all. And if you want to fly or drive with us, you can join our server on Discord and also follow us on Instagram. Links in this video's description, or you can use the QR codes on screen. Lap 5, we're in P13 now and a few seconds behind the Ferrari in P12. My lap times are terrible, I still couldn't find my pace. The lack of time for training is also being a big issue. Driving competitively requires a big deal of training, and it's something I've been lacking. I gotta work for providing the family, you know? By the way, that's why I haven't been posting videos weekly anymore. No much time for playing and no much time for editing the videos. I'm trying to reorganize it, but I've been working more than ever lately. I hope I can come back to a weekly rhythm ASAP. Lap 6 and the Ferrari driver makes a mistake by the spoon, so we get one position up the grid. At the end of lap 6, I see the other Ferrari in the pits, but I couldn't reach them before they leave, so I keep on P12. Lap 7 and now the Corvette driver is in the pits. They can't come back on track before we cross the pit exit, so I get one more position up the grid, P11 now. However, I'm losing time in relation to the Ferrari at P10. End of lap 8 and now it's my turn to get into the pits for the mandatory stop. Tires change only, no refuel, and as I exit the pits I see the Ferrari 458 incoming. Very close, and I think they're very close and will meet me at turn 1. So I ease on the throttle and let them pass, and yet they meet me right at turn 1 entry. Now, looking at a replay from the outside, I think that it was a mistake. Next time, I won't do it anymore unless they're about to overtake me effectively. Lap number 10 and I touch the green area before the curve by turn 1, losing the car and even more time. Moving on. End of lap 10, opening lap 11. Now, with soft tires, I get a reasonable lap time. I mean, the gap to the leader is yet more than 2 seconds, but it's better than a 5-second gap from the previous laps. As it was my personal best lap in this race, let's follow it from the onboard camera. You can also realize how weird is my braking and throttle inputs using the PS4 control, how it's 100% or nothing, and how I have to brake much earlier than what should be the right braking. The same thing regarding the throttle, how I have to bleep it for emulating a gradual throttle use, which affects the car's balance in a very negative way. 2.79, 2.5 seconds is lower than the leader's best lap. End of lap 12, I got closer to the Corvette in P12, but Huracan in P14 is also very close to me. Of my poor brake and throttle management and the Corvette getting slow in front of me makes me lose the position to the Huracan coming behind me as we exit the S-turns. Time lost as I go around the hairpin. But as we get around the spoon, the Corvette driver loses it and I recover one position, getting to P13 now. Final lap, and now it's my turn to lose the car by the spoon. Well, I didn't lose it exactly, but had some severe understeer and went out of bounds. Luckily I could hold the car and bring it back on track, miraculously didn't get a penalty for it, and could keep it in front of the Corvette. So there we go, finishing the race in P13, and from Suzuka we'll go to Daytona for the second round, and the second race was impressive, we shall see. Now, if you haven't watched the previous episodes of our mission Gran Turismo 7, I'll recommend you to watch the full playlist so you can follow our entire journey from the beginning after watching this video. And if air combat sim is your thing, you can also watch the mission War Thunder. Cards here on the top right corner and the links in this video's description. Now we get to Daytona. As I've always had a strong driving here, I decided to give it a try and qualify for this race. But I wasn't expecting the pole position at all. Then I got very happy when I got the pole. So I had a chance of a good race here, maybe with a victory after a long season of terrible races. Everything went fine by the race start and I even could open a little gap between myself and P2. Not a comfortable one, but it allowed me to focus on my driving for the first lap and not be defensive, which certainly would make me lose time. So hey, there's a chance of a good result here. My worst nightmare strikes as I made a mistake by the bus stop and get a 0.5 seconds penalty. That's what I'm talking about, making those mistakes driving with the controller very easy and very difficult to correct without making the situation even worse. Now I'll fatally lose positions to the drivers coming after, but nothing is bad to the point it can't get even worse, right? Just follow me and watch. SX have a poor exit, I lose more time avoiding the collision and the other cars come in, so I lose even more positions, falling to P7. As I get back to the oval and in the position to attack the GTR in front of me. They cover the inside line, I take the outside one, but it's not enough, so I'll ease on the throttle and let them pass. But they brake at the same time. I get in front, but now I'm overlapped with them, lose the turn entry, and my bus stop is ruined. I get off track and take an eternity to realign the car and try to bring it back. There are cars coming behind me much faster than I am, so I keep on the apron waiting for them to pass, so I can return to the track safely, and Gran Turismo 7 resets my position to last. I can't understand it. I was slow, I was losing time, keeping out of track to not jeopardize the other drivers. It wasn't cheating, I wasn't taking any advantage of it, so why the heck it reset me? Those kind of things make it very hard to keep excited with Gran Turismo, you know? It's because of this kind of thing that sometimes I think about giving up, and it's a shame because I started racing with Gran Turismo in 1997 and came back to this universe because GT Sport was a big promise, but GT7 is getting worse and worse every day. To be honest, I haven't given up Gran Turismo 7 for another racing sim such as iRacing, Assetto Corsa Competizione, Le Mans Ultimate or so yet, for I don't have a hardware to run them. Otherwise I'd be racing them and Mission Gran Turismo 7 would be over by now. Another penalty at same place. It's so easy to make this mistake and so hard to correct it with the joypad. So I enjoy the fact that I'm slow and get to the pits for the mandatory stop. I've just refueled, didn't change tires, which proved to be a mistake during the final laps. So we get back on track, still in P14. End of lap 7, the drivers at P11, 12 and 13 get into their pits for their mandatory stops. I wasn't close enough to get any advantage of it, so I'm still in P14, but now way closer to them. Lap 8 and I reached the 4 GT driver in front of me, overtaking them by the bus stop as they went around it very slowly. They didn't try to get my slipstream, which could help them retake the position, so I consolidate the new position at P13. Drivers get into the pits and we move some more positions up the grid, now at P10. Interesting to notice here is my pace between 1.47.5 and 1.47.3 with no slipstream, so not a bad pace after all. If I hadn't made such a stupid mistake at the beginning of the race, maybe I could be still fighting for a podium here. End of lap 9, another driver gets into the pits and I get one more position, and now I'm getting closer to the Ford GT at P8, but it's gonna be hard to keep up with them. Driving with the control without making mistakes by myself is hard enough, behind other drivers in their slipstream with worn tires is even harder. The tires are way more degraded than I thought they would be, so I'm starting to regret not changing tires by now. And this is another thing I hate about Gran Turismo, those fuel and tire wear multipliers. Believe me, they are needed. They just make things worse. There are other ways to make races more interesting, and if mandatory tire changes is the thing, a pit window would solve this problem. End of lap 11 and another penalty, the third at the same place this race. Now I'll lose contact with the driver in P8 and the drivers at P10 and 11 will close the gap to me. End of lap 14, the drivers at P9 close the gap and are incoming for the attack. I say P9 because something happened to one of the drivers before us and I get one more position. I'm now at P8. I managed to defend by turn 1, but now it will be hard to defend the position, but I'll try. The Huracan driver is side by side with me. They have the inside line. I ease on the throttle so they can pass, and yet they managed to push me out of the track, so I lose 2 positions. Now my tires are dirty, there is no grip. I almost don't make the turn to get back to the oval, and that's how a race I could have won turned into this disaster. I'm gonna finish in P10 after all. And that's all for today, folks. The next 2 races in Spa and Interlagos will come in the next video. Maybe the last 2 races for a while, maybe not, who knows. So stay tuned for it and for the Air Combat Simulation videos, cause those won't stop for sure. Actually, the mission 3 is in the oven cooking, the final preparations are taking place. So make sure you hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel in order to keep following this journey with us. Leave a comment sharing your experiences, thoughts, and suggestions. Don't forget to activate the notifications bell to be notified every time there is a new video here on the channel. You can also join our server on Discord to drive and fly with us and follow us on Instagram. I appreciate you who followed me so far. Salute! And I see you on the next mission.